The history of Ana is rooted in the relationship of a Portuguese man and an indigenous woman. They came to the region of Ana and settled around the mouth of the lake, and had their first son, Ivo Godinho. The village was named after the spirit, Moana, who inhabits the area. Beyond the literal history is that of myth. Today, 6 generations have transpired in Ana, and continue to use oral tradition to pass down their stories. With 342 villagers and 96 families, those of Ana share roots in the Godinho family name, and their endless hospitality of deep family connections are instilled by tales passed on through generations.
The story of the cobra.
Aqui é o lago. Aqui vem a
Long ago, there was this giant rock that was visible. The river is out here, and as you know, the river, the level of the water rises and falls. But there was a time when people saw a little piece of the rock that was exposed, and they saw some beautiful objects, a towel, a necklace, some things that were made of gold or that were shiny, and people thought that they were so beautiful, and so they wanted to touch them, to have them. But unfortunately, they were untouchable. They were Moana's possessions. And what happened when the person would touch them is they would go crazy. And the people would try to stop them. They would try to grab them and try to hold them. Well, the people got tired of chasing, and so they just left the person to let the person go. What became obvious to everybody was that these were enchanted items, enchanted objects, and they couldn't be possessed by any human being, so they left them there. They stopped trying to get them. In fact, people weren't allowed to go near there if they saw anything.
The story of Moana introduces humility to those who hear the story. Through the extreme case of insanity taking over those who are greedy, the people learn not to mess with what isn't theirs, further teaching humility. Another story that is passed down through oral tradition is the story of the lost child. In the community, this story teaches listeners the importance of family bonds and the lengths that a family will go to show their unwavering love that the parents had for their children.
There was a house near where they were partying where they would leave the kids. They would just basically, because it was late at night, they would hook up some hammocks and the kids would sleep there. I mean, at some point, one of the mothers came over to check on her child, and the child was not there. So she started freaking out. Where's my child? Where's my child? So 5 or 6 days went by, and they called the shaman. And the shaman who knew about the existence of the Jurupari, he came and he brought his materials, which included a lot of smoke, because smoke was very important for him to bring on the spirits, to communicate. And so the shaman says, he's with the Jurupari. And the mother says, well, could you go get him for me? And he said, yeah, I'll go get him. But not just me. Get your husband and get 20 armed men, and then I'll go. And the 20 armed men went with the page, or the shaman. And as they walked along, once in a while he would stop and he'd blow smoke in the air and see, we're getting close. We're going to get there. But I want you to be totally prepared. So they got there at the foot of the Jurupari, of the Tawari, and they said, he says, your son's up there. Call his name. And up above is where Jurupari lived. He lived up in the top of the tree. There's these great vines, and he made ropes out of the vines. And he had this, like, you know, basically a floor that he'd created in the tree. He said, your son's up there. Call his name. He says, you're his father. Call his name. So tell him that if he doesn't respond, you're coming to get him. Starts calling him. And the shaman says, don't give up. Tell him, threaten him, you're going to go up there and get him, because Jurupari, he doesn't want people up there. So he's going to make the child come down. It's been 6 days. You got to get him down now. And they hear Jurupari say, get down, get out. If your father's calling you, get down, get down. I don't want anyone up here. And the shaman says he's going to come down now, but you better be ready, because the child is not going to want to come. He's not going to come down all the way. He's going to jump from a certain height. And if you don't get him, he's going to run away and you'll never get him again because he'll disappear. And just like the shaman said, at some point he tries to throw himself, but the men are ready, and one of them or two of them, they grab him and they hug him tight, they hold him tight. And the shaman comes over and blows smoke on him and tries to calm his spirit, calms him down, and he goes limp and they carry him away. And he's okay.